Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Coe Show. My name is Mason Coe, here as always with my co-host Aaron Coe.
What's up?
Today is Wednesday, February 10th. Got some Super Bowl recap for you.
Yeah.
Got, Player of the Week, Clown of the Week, as always, later on. Unfortunately, we do have to start the show on a slightly somber note. Rest in peace, Pedro Gomez, passed away at 58. He was one of the first reporters I could recognize by face.
Yeah.
Just early
okay.
on, watching sport. I mean, I used to watch SportsCenter on loop 3-4 times in a row, and Pedro Gomez was always just a staple. And he was one of the first reporters that I actually knew.
Wow, interesting.
And yeah, just hearing that he passed is obviously tragic. Prayers to the family and coworkers and friends. So yeah.
Yeah, I read a bit about it. I mean, I don't know, you can just tell that he seemed like a good dude, and sometimes you can kind of see that.
By all accounts. I mean, there was a story where Tony La Russa was shitting on this reporter for a headline, and he steps up and says, hey, we don't write the headlines. Stop shitting on this kid. Yeah. This is a veteran reporter in a cold game. I mean, journalism is a cold game.
It is.
We're
trying to beat each other.
Yeah, and now it's a little better with the internet. There's room for everyone, but but to have a veteran step up like that when it wasn't like this is just, I mean, it just tells you what kind of guy he is.
Yeah, no kidding. And there are many stories like that where he just seemed like a good person, and I think the coaches and the players respected him as well. So
not many people could step to Tony La Russa like that. As a reporter. So
yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but whatever it was, I just I feel for his family and obviously all the friends that he had out there. So R.I.P. man.
Another reporter, this one at 37, Therese Paylor. I not as familiar with his work with the Kansas City Chiefs, but all accounts, again, another great guy. It just terrible news, and unfortunately, it took his death for me to really learn about the great things he's done. But great man.
Yeah, I recognize the name, but I didn't know him as well. Another one where I just saw a lot of stories on Twitter about him. A lot of what do you call it when you do one tweet after another? Thread. Yeah. People having threads about him, just talking about some of the ways he was a great guy. So it's just very sad to see it.
And then lastly, NFL coach Marty Schottenheimer, father of now passing game coordinator for the Jags, Brian Schottenheimer, passed away. I didn't realize he was top 10 all time in wins, which is obviously great. Hate to see a legend go like this. And what I will say, though, is this is how you report on something like this. Talk about their accomplishments. Talk about the good things they did. What you don't do is do what the fucking Washington Post did. Yeah. Marty Schottenheimer, NFL coach whose teams wilted in the postseason, dies at 77. Fuck the Washington Post. Yeah. Whoever wrote that headline needs to get fired. Plain and simple. No matter what personal beef you might have had with this man, there's no excuse. I mean, he died. And he didn't. It's not like he was on record being like this horrible person. No. I mean, it's just there's no need for this. And also, I don't think I actually showed the original headline. This is a good headline. Former NFL coach Marty Schottenheimer, top 10 in all-time wins, dies at 77. Instead of just shitting on maybe his shortcomings as a coach.
Yeah.
It's just fuck the Washington Post. Fuck the Seattle Times. Fuck the Washington Post now too. I mean.
If I had written a headline like that for the Everett Herald, which actually is owned by the Washington Post now that I think about it, I don't know if it still is, but it was, would have been fired immediately. Like I don't know. I know
fired
that
immediately, and it should be hard for you to find a job at another spot writing headlines.
I know that journalism is different and newspapers are different, but I just don't see what did you have to gain from that headline? Like what's the upside? You're not being funny. Like it's just awful. Like it's not even humorous.
No. And there are ways to make jokes about people that just died.
Yeah,
there are ways to do it. I don't know enough about Marty Schottenheimer to make a joke. I'm still not in the headline though.
No,
still not in the headline. Just like
not at all. It's like 3/4 of the way in the story, you start talking about the postseason.
And maybe it's because you interviewed him for years and you have a personal relationship with him. You can't just be some random fucker writing in the headline about his shortcomings.
I know that, now to talk about his shortcomings. No. I mean, he was a fantastic leader and coach. He had a few bad luck things, which I kind of wish I would have looked these up because I don't want to get things mixed up and tell the wrong story. But I believe one of the stories would be, I think when he was the head coach of the Browns, and I hope I have this right. If not, oh well. Look it up and find out what really happened. But there was a running back, I think it was Ernest Biner, that carried the ball some ridiculous 384 times in a season, and without fumbling.
Oh wow!
So running backs don't often hit 300 carries anymore. He was up near 400. Didn't fumble during the whole season. Then he fumbled on the 1 yard line. And I believe that was an AFC title game, and so that's not Schottenheimer's fault. He didn't tell the guy to fumble. And then, for whatever reason, he goes 14-2 1 year with the Chargers, and they lost early in the playoffs. I don't have I don't know why those things happen. Some of it was bad luck. Maybe some of it was, bad decisions. And we used to, in fantasy football long years ago, if you had the best record in the season and then lost in the playoffs, you'd say, oh, I pulled a Schottenheimer, that being said, I mean, top 10 all time in wins, and, his success speaks for itself and much louder than do the postseasons that maybe didn't always go the right way.
For sure.
So sad to see him go. I always had a ton of respect for him.
Yeah. All right, now let's get into some more. I mean, I guess you could consider this more bad news, depending on who you are. Tom Brady wins his 7th ring, cements himself as the GOAT. I don't think it's any argument anymore. He has more rings than any franchise, which, makes my brain short circuit just thinking about that he has more championships than any franchise. And he has 3 Hall of Fame careers now in his 20s, 30s, and 40s. Legit, 20s, 30s, 40s. He has 3 Hall of Fame careers, potentially 2 GOAT careers, depending on how you split it up. So, yeah. I think, and Rob Gronkowski, shout out. I mean, he's saving the touchdowns for the Super Bowl. Almost bet a prop for him to score a touchdown, and I didn't. Yeah. And if I would have, maybe I would have lost less than all of my money on my prop bets.
I got killed in the Super Bowl.
I think everyone did. Yeah. I really think because people were betting on Tyreek Hill props and shit, and Mahomes props. No one was betting on props for the Chiefs to score less than 10 points.
If you would have said Aaron, you put up $10,000, I'll put up $500. If the Chiefs score less than 10 points, I get your 10,000. If they score more than 10, 10 or more, you get my 500. I would have taken that bet all day long. Yeah, that's an easy $500 that they were going to score 10 points.
I would have bet my checking, savings account, and all the money I have in Bitcoin. By the way, which is a lot. I have a lot in Bitcoin. Fuck with me. I would bet all of that on the Chiefs to score more than 10.
It was stunning. Yeah. I'm not really surprised by the number of points that Tampa Bay scored. Mm-hmm. I did expect them to score some points. I'm stunned. As stunning as a Super Bowl I have ever seen for them to not score. I thought it was a lock that they would hit 30.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be a very high-scoring Super Bowl, which is why I put some money on the over.
I did too.
And, prop bets killed me.
I don't know. I feel like I get really unlucky with props, but I'm pretty sure I'm genuinely 2-14 in props.
Yeah,
I'm so bad at prop bets. So
I started out good, and then this one I knew I was taking a lot of weird things that probably weren't going to hit, but I thought maybe one of them might hit.
Yeah, I bet way too much money on Scotty Miller. Multiple Scotty Miller props. I don't know why I did it. I was looking back, it's so stupid. Scotty Miller props. Yeah.
It was what a crazy game. Tampa Bay's defense, I knew they were really good. Vita Vea was,
stud.
Didn't put up the big numbers, but he just basically they say, hey, Vita, if you could just push the entire offensive line back and then let other people run through and get after the quarterback, that'd be great.
You say sack. The thing is, Patrick Mahomes, the magician, is so good at avoiding sacks. I see we we love talking about Ben Baldwin on this podcast. He put up a stat where it was like Mahomes had like 3.7 seconds before he threw on average.
Wow.
Which was way above average. And then Brady had like 2.2 or something, which was below. And he tried to make this an argument that Patrick Mahomes was the reason he was being pressured. If you watch the plays, it took him 4 seconds to get rid of the ball because he ran 500 yards escaping sacks. He ran legit. Like, that's not, I'm not saying that as a hyperbole.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this as a joke. He ran 497 yards avoiding sacks.
Yeah.
And he made three of the greatest, I would say top 3 incomplete passes of all time.
Oh, yeah.
2 of them hit the guy in the face. 1 hit the pylon. During the game, I was like, man, Patrick Mahomes, he's really giving it his all out there. He's trying his hardest. It's, I feel like he's playing a better game than what the Chiefs are showing.
Right.
And then I looked at the box score at like 3/4 of the way through. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
3.3 yards per attempt. I don't know what his final yards per attempt was, but I almost got sucked into the box score a little. And then I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
If you watch the game, it's not, maybe there are some of the plays he could have stepped up in the pocket. There was no fucking pocket on almost all those plays. He's running for his life.
And you mentioned these ridiculous throws that he made that were dropped. One of them went right through Tyreek Hill's hands and hit him in the face. Mm-hmm. Like, what? Come on, dude.
Yeah.
And then the tight end, Kelsey, third down drop early in the game. Like, you can't do that in the Super Bowl.
And that's not even one of the 3 best incompletions of all time I was talking about.
No,
that's just a huge situation.
Typical play.
And honestly, Travis Kelce does this shit too much.
Yeah, he does.
He's on his way to becoming one of the best tight ends ever, but he drops passes and he drops them on 3rd down.
Yeah.
I've seen him do this so much, I feel. And maybe I'm tripping. Maybe there are stats out there that can completely prove that wrong, and I would be happy to say I'm wrong about that. But from what I've seen, it's like Travis Kelce has to, I don't know, that's huge. That turns. I think it was 14-3 at that moment when he dropped it.
Yeah, so
14-3, and then a shitty punt gives them the ball at like the 35. It's 14-3. Tom Brady has the ball at your 35-yard line. Yeah,
could have been a very different game. We'll never know, but the narrative could have gone a totally different direction if he makes that catch.
Patrick Mahomes making throws with a football that shortstops can't make with a baseball. On a dime too, not just getting it down. Just getting it down the field as much as he did on those throws is impressive. Let alone the accuracy. Made that Russell Wilson to Tyler Lockett throw just look pedestrian. Honestly. Great game by Tom Brady, especially in the first half. He didn't have to do as much in the second half, which isn't his fault. But obviously, great game by Gronk. And congrats to the Bucs, congrats to Tom Brady and old Brucey down there.
It seemed like the real story of this game was the it sound like an old man here, but the lines. Tampa Bay just dominated. Kansas City was had a couple guys missing on the offensive line, and a lot of people I heard saw 2 totally different narratives about this in the week leading up to it. Some people were like, this is going to be one of the worst offensive lines ever in a Super Bowl. And then a lot of other people were saying, hey, they've got good depth. Mm-hmm. These aren't typical backups. These are backups that have started. The first one was right. They were rough. Mm-hmm. I also felt like, Andy Reid, bad. I can't imagine he's called too many games worse than this.
Yeah.
It reminded me so much of the Seahawks in the second half of this season where, Russ is under pressure. He looks and there's like all the receivers are 30 yards down the field. Mm-hmm. And he has, so go to a quick passing game, get some rhythm going, get something happening, keep that pass rush off of you. They just kept doing, it's like he had a game plan. We're going to throw it down the field. Mm-hmm. and that didn't work, and they never adjusted.
No, I don't know. And by the way, I don't know if you actually saw the full story on the Antoine Winfield point or the
I did,
the
yeah,
two fingers.
I did, yeah.
At first, I thought he was a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Now I love it. Now I absolutely love it. Yeah. So that must have felt so good.
Oh, I bet.
Must have. Oh, yeah. You see the smile on his face. He looked like a little 6-year-old shithead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also, I will say, NFL's got to take notes. If you look at Bruce Arians' coaching staff, it's a majority black people, especially the big coaches, the coordinators and the position coaches. They're, I'm looking at the list of coaches here. There's a lot of assistants that are white, but almost all these dudes are black, which I think is good. We talk about so much of the league is black. It's kind of wild that not enough coaches are, and now you got a Super Bowl winner full of coaches that are black, and also I think a decent amount of female coaches too, actually.
Yeah.
So that's great. However, this causes problems for white people sometimes.
Oh God.
So this is, if there wasn't so many clowns of the week, this is a definite clown of the week candidate.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and take a listen to this. You've probably seen it already.
Going into the game, what was your number one goal on the defensive side to shut Mahomes down, shut that high-powered offensive down? What was your guys' number one goal going into that game?
To shut Pat Mahomes down. I think you got the wrong guy. I ain't had nothing to do with that. That was Todd. That was the
Ouch. Dude.
So bad.
So he got, that was Byron Leftwich, the offensive coordinator.
Yep. And
who is black.
And the defensive coordinator, Todd Bowles, who, by the way, does not look anything like Byron Leftwich. No. He really doesn't look that much like him.
They are both black.
And I don't want to get into like the nitty-gritty where this might sound bad, but like Todd Bowles is clearly darker than Byron Leftwich too. There's not even any there's nothing. As a white guy, I just want to apologize. I know who Byron Leftwich and Todd Bowles are, and I'm not a professional reporter. I have a podcast with 13 subscribers. So yeah. Shout out to that guy for just laughing and not realizing what he had just done.
I don't know that but when he laughed, I think he thought for a second, Coach was kidding.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he realized what had happened yet.
It was nervous laughter. Like, what is he talking about?
Huh? What do you mean? And I'm sure I can feel like my nuts sucking up into my stomach because I've asked dumb questions as a reporter.
Yeah.
I can just feel like I could feel how. Yeah, but he's an idiot. I'm not defending him, or I don't feel sorry for him.
No.
But I could feel what he must have felt like when he realized not only that he'd made a mistake, but a mistake that some people would view as
could be construed as a racist mistake.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the very least, it's ignorant and stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure. I don't know who the reporter is. I'm sure every day he wakes up and is horrified.
Yeah.
He made a horrible mistake, and I'm just willing to bet that he just every time he thinks about it, he wants to throw up.
Yeah, no,
I know I would.
I would imagine. Obviously, I'm not just gonna call this dude racist, but also a shout out to Byron Leftwich for handling that.
Yeah,
well. I mean, he could have. Once you make that mistake, you give that person full reign to go off on you.
Yeah.
And he handled that so well. You could tell he was fucking white boy, but and that dude sounded so white too. It didn't help how white he sounded asking the question.
I know.
Hey there, so going into the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Oh man.
Yeah. So you got anything else on the big game?
The going back to the GOAT conversation, I didn't drunk tweet. I was drunk Facebook posting, and I put out there that Tom Brady. If you split his career in half, you could argue that he's the GOAT twice.
Yeah.
Which I stand behind my drunken post.
Yeah.
You could make an argument.
You could, yeah.
That he's in the running to be the double GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually had some pushback on Facebook, people saying he's not the GOAT at all.
Who the fuck is the GOAT then? Tell me who's the GOAT.
So there's a guy. Actually, it's a guy that fucked me over with a headline. Speaking of headlines, Gary Nelson. I know 2 Gary Nelsons. This is a guy that goes by Nels, who was a copy editor at the Herald. But he likes to argue. So he will, I think I said on there, if it's a sunny day, you would argue with me that the sky wasn't blue.
Yeah.
He's just one of those guys. He likes to go at it.
Yeah.
It's fun. He drives me nuts.
Devil's advocate. Yeah.
Devil's advocate. Yeah. Contrarian, whatever you want to call it. So he was bringing up, and he threw some stats out there. Who's the Colts quarterback from the old times? I always have a mental block on this guy's name. Unitas.
Okay, stop there. Stop there. Stop there. Shut the fuck up, guy. Hey, are you watching? Stop. Shut the fuck up. Brady has 7 rings. He has more rings than any franchise. He did it without Belichick.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Go back to what you were saying.
He brought up MVPs and all pros and things like that. And there are some arguments to be made on that end. People bring up Montana. They bring up the usual. Somebody brought up Aaron Rodgers, and that I just don't get.
He's 1-4 in NFC champion. Like, just off that stat alone, I'm fine if you even put him in top 5, just off talent alone.
The argument that these guys are making is if you had put other quarterbacks on the teams that Brady was on, they could have done that. I don't know. We'll never know.
I told you.
We'll never know.
I don't know if it was on this podcast or not. I told you, I was like, I don't doubt Matt Stafford would have won multiple rings with the Patriots. But that didn't happen. He wasn't on the Patriots.
Yeah. So
it's about circumstance, too.
Yeah.
I mean, how many players have had their careers ruined because they've gone to bad teams? Not just that they've maybe not reached their potential, but they're out of the league in a couple years because whatever team fucked them up so bad. So it's just, it's luck, too.
Yeah,
Russ got lucky.
Yeah.
Russ got lucky.
Walked into one of the best defenses of all time early in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did Brady. Brady got lucky too. It's fine. That doesn't make him not the GOAT.
Yeah. To me, it's, if you look at the longevity, if you look at the leadership, Tampa Bay was 7-9 last year with basically the same team. He just walks into a room and he there's certain guys that just, you just look like, whoa, okay, now I guess we're playing now. I guess we're serious now.
Can Johnny Unitas take a 7-9 fucking Buccaneers team and completely change the whole mentality of the entire building? No.
Yeah.
Tom Brady has, and also, to be fair, the Bucs.
I don't know. Maybe he could have.
might be paying for that Brady training system, which could be putting some money in Brady's pocket. Right. But Brady has this whole TB12 thing. Everyone's drinking fucking protein shakes and eating avocado ice cream. And, everyone's bought in. They have meal plans, and it's all from Brady. Yeah. It's not just a football impact. It's an impact on the whole thing. Yeah. It's like, dude, oh my God. It's like Bruce Arians isn't even that good of a coach.
Yeah, no, I agree. Another one of my drunken Facebook posts was that he's the Barry Switzer, put him in the Barry Switzer category of guys that just have coaches that walked in. Mm-hmm. Basically, hey, I give him credit for not fucking it up.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He let his coordinators coordinate. Mm-hmm. He let Tom Brady be Tom Brady. Yeah. I didn't hear as much stupid stuff. He kind of called out Brady a couple times early in the year, and I thought, okay, is this going to blow up or not?
I think it was actually good, though. I think he actually knew it. Like, I thought it might be bad too, but I think he actually knew what he was doing there.
So I give him credit for really just, and I thought his ego was too big for this situation, but I feel like he took a little bit of a step back, and in terms of it being about him. Mm-hmm. So I give him that credit. But yeah, very talented team. You bring in, one of the ultimate competitors in the history of sport, and there you go.
By the way, this is coming from a person who called Tom Brady a system quarterback like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So trust me, it's not like I'm a Brady fan. I legit called him a system quarterback 3 years ago. I didn't think he was the GOAT. I thought he was top 10, top 5, but I was like, what can he do without the Patriots? And I think before he even went to the Buccaneers, I kind of started to change that mindset a little. But when he went to the Buccaneers and was winning games and looking good, it's like, okay, it's not just the system. And now he wins a Super Bowl. There's just there is no argument to make.
Yeah.
There is no sound argument. I don't think there's an actual sound argument that you can't directly refute.
Yeah, and what I tried when I shot back at people, I'm like, I can accept that you would argue that somebody is worthy of the discussion, but for you to definitively say he's absolutely not the GOAT is absurd.
You're fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Say that.
Yeah,
you're stupid.
Yeah, and I can't stand the guy. Okay, I don't. It's like, believe me, I ain't buying his jersey.
No,
either one of them. Although I like those sick Tampa Bay jerseys, but I ain't
jerseys
buying his
nice.
jersey.
No, I'm not buying his jersey. I'm not a Brady fan. I didn't really have a team that. Well, really, I was rooting for the Chiefs because I had so many.
Yeah, we had the bets.
We had the bets on them. So I didn't even really want to see Brady win this. But if you're sitting there saying it's lame that it's so shitty that he won another one, I think you're just a hater at this point.
Yeah.
I got annoyed with the Patriots too, especially because of the personal thing, but which I won't discuss in detail, the personal thing with the Patriots, but you still got to appreciate greatness. I hated the Warriors when they were on top winning 72 games. Now I watch Warriors highlights because Klay Thompson put up 37 and a quarter. Yeah. It's the most amazing thing I've ever watched. I'm not going to not watch it because I don't like him.
Yeah, greatness is fun to watch.
Yeah.
Whether you hate it or hate the team or the player or not, greatness is great.
Yeah, and I know you don't dislike LeBron, but
no.
you have that Jordan versus LeBron argument.
Sure.
But you still appreciate the greatness just like I do with Jordan. I sat there, I wasn't like, oh, fucking Jordan watching that 10-part documentary, like, oh, look at him just hyping himself up. No, I was like, this is sick.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
This is greatness. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I like watching LeBron play, and I mean, I'm not going to say, oh, well, Kawhi's better, just because to weaken LeBron to strengthen my Jordan. I'm not doing that shit.
No.
He's without question the greatest of his era. I enjoy watching him play basketball because he's really good at it.
Mm-hmm. You had an error there while you're saying greatest of his era. You're like, greatest of his error. Can't say LeBron's good. Error.
Oh, man.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Russell Wilson.
Oh, boy.
So, I don't think this is... I think people are making a little bit big of a deal
they are.
Of this. He's frustrated with not getting protected, which is a legitimate frustration, especially if you look at where the Seahawks have spent their money. We're one of the... I think this year we were 31st on payroll for linemen, and I don't think we've cracked above 25 or so since Russ has been here. And, I mean, when you take 400 sacks in 9 seasons, it's a little rough. I get it. But there is a stat here that kind of confirms what we were talking about Russ taking too many sacks.
Yeah.
It's kind of his
fault.
fault.
We've been saying this all year.
So...
And for years before the podcast.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me just pull it up on the big screen. Okay. So shout out to Derek G. I want to say he works for PFF. I'm not really sure though. So this, I don't know what constitutes as being responsible for a sack, but as long as this criteria is consistent throughout the years, it shows you what you need to know. So for rookie year, responsible for 23%. Then it goes down to 16%, jumps back up to 27%. And it stays kind of around, between 21 to 25-ish on average.
Yep.
And then it jumps up to 31 in 2020.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Again, you don't know what's going on down the field most of the time. It could be a scheme thing, too. It could be that we're trying to take too many shots, and it might not be Russ's fault. But at the end of the day... When you see that number jump up 7% in a year and be higher by far than any number before, it makes me concerned that Russ is not going to be willing to take responsibility for that aspect enough to the point where it could cause friction between him and Pete or Schneider.
There are so many layers to, so he did this interview with Dan Patrick, and he basically talked about how many times he's been hit. So he's obviously looked up the stat.
Yeah.
And called out the offensive line, said he wants more control over personnel or, wants input on personnel.
Yeah.
And, some of that doesn't bother me. There are a couple things, though. First of all, back to your point, if you are a fan of this team, anybody listening, how many did you ever think to yourself, throw the fucking ball, please? Like, just get rid of the damn ball.
I want to say you said that on average 3 times per game.
Yeah.
3 times.
Because sometimes it's ridiculous. Because sometimes you can see the open receiver, and he just he doesn't see him, or
especially on
he's looking for something bigger.
The more like kind of short check down type routes. There's so many times you could just pop a little 3-4 yard, 5 yard gain off of that.
And we also talked about earlier in this podcast that when Russ has his best game, it's it because he's throwing the ball to Chris Carson.
Mm-hmm.
That does a number of things. 1, it keeps the chains moving. 2, it forces the other team to respect that. Makes the safety watch that. Now you've got stuff open down the field. Athletic quarterbacks, let me read this, and I should have sent this to you to post, but this is Hawk Blogger, at Hawk Blogger.
Yeah.
So this is what he had to say, and some of these conflict each other. So, best quarterback in Seahawks history, MVP ceiling, dynasty capable, and this is where things kind of conflict. So he bails out the offensive line. So that's when, just listen, stay with me, bails out the offensive line. So this is when, I think maybe not as much this year, but when he would pirouette and spin, right, and make a crazy throw, and people are like, wow, how did he pull that off? The next thing Hawk Blogger says, though, is makes offensive line job tough.
Wait, okay, is he being serious?
He's basically talking about the two sides of Russell Wilson.
Oh, the two. Okay, yeah.
So
because he does both.
He bails him out, but he makes it tough because you don't know where he's going, and you make the offensive line block for longer than they should have to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Bails out the offensive coordinator, makes the offensive coordinator job tough, makes crazy throws, misses easy throws. So that's what we're talking about, right? Like athletic quarterbacks, Russ in particular. Mm-hmm. You don't see Tom Brady. There's a reason he doesn't get sacked a lot. He gets rid of the ball because he knows he can't fucking move.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, they have a clock in their head. 1001, I got to throw it now.
Mm-hmm.
And if Tom Brady doesn't get rid of the ball, then he lays down and lets somebody tap him.
Yep.
Because you can't hit them when they're down.
Yep. That's the old Manning, Peyton and Eli. Yeah.
Duck and cover, baby.
Mm-hmm. By the way, team pass block win rate 62%, tied for number 8 in the NFL with the Ravens. So I don't know, man.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
I think Russ needs to adjust his game. I don't know why maybe it's the height, I don't know, but why he just sometimes doesn't see. There's videos out there of him running around, and there's a guy 8 yards wide open, right in the middle of the field that he just doesn't throw it to.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, Russell Wilson's great. He's a great player, but and I think some of this was calculated, that probably his agent got into his head, and I need to get it out there, get some of this out there. What I hated more than anything, though, is calling out your teammates in the media like that.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's no need for that. Go look them in the face, or go tell Pete and John, we need to do better there. You guys need to do a better job, whatever. But to call your offensive, you don't do that. Especially your offensive line. Those motherfuckers are big.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call them out if I were you.
Nah, and they protect you. Their job is to protect your life.
He's already kind of douchey anyway, so he's going to go into that locker room and look at those guys who already think he's white anyway.
So here's the thing. What you say, yes, that's funny. They do think he's white. They do for sure think he's white.
They do.
Yeah, he puts on a spray tan real well. But so what you said is he said he wants more control of personnel. But that's not really what he said. He said it very Russ-like.
Yes, he
said
did.
That would be nice to be in that conversation.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of fucking annoying, honestly, to say.
Yeah.
Just say it. Just say it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, part of why this was alarming was because Russ doesn't ever say anything worth a shit to listen to.
I know, yeah.
If I'm listening to sports radio and they're gonna play or a post game or whatever, and they're gonna play a Russ, just turn the channel.
Turn it off, man.
He's not gonna say a fucking thing. It's gonna be a string of cliches. You can count them up.
It's the same thing with the mic'd up. same thing.
Drink every time he says a cliche. You're gonna be fucking hammered in 30 seconds.
Yeah, you'll be seeing God. Trust me.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't have a problem with a lot of the things that he said, but you're right. He's got to take more responsibility for his part in this. And like I said, don't be calling out your teammates in the media like that, especially if you're. Some players can get away with that because, like, that's just who's the big man for the Warriors? Kind of a goofball forward.
Goofball forward for the Warriors?
Yeah, the the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, I know the Golden State Warriors. I'm having trouble. Oh, Draymond?
Draymond.
Oh, Draymond. Yeah. For some reason, I just don't even think of him as a big man.
Yes, yeah, I guess he's not a true big man. Yeah. But so Draymond says a lot of shit. And most of the time, I think his teammates are like, it's just Draymond.
Yeah.
It's just Draymond. That's just him being him, Funny guy. But when Russ says it, that's not Russ being Russ.
Also, there's one thing that Jermaine Ifedi tweeted. He tweeted just this emoji. And
hand over the forehead.
Hand over the forehead. And so that got 105 likes. The first reply got 155 likes, so he got ratioed, and it said, "You false started while I read this." Yeah, and then also I just sent this DM from Taylor, my friend. Shout out Taylor. This is hilarious. I think this is from today. By the way, I don't know if you saw the video of they were out on the bay, and
no, I didn't.
They were on boats, and Tom Brady tossed the Lombardi Trophy over the water to Gronk.
Oh,
and he caught it. Yeah, he caught it.
Whew, don't throw it to Kelsey.
Yeah, he doesn't get one this year.
That motherfucker, you're going to need a scuba diver if you try that.
But this is just a great video.
Tom, how often was that?
Brady, Super Bowl MVP 7 times.
Brady.
That ain't TB12.
Fucking hammered, yeah. This is TB21.
That ain't avocado ice cream.
No. God damn, I've never seen...
Good for you, man.
Never seen the greatest athlete of all time stumble around.
I didn't know
that.
He was capable of enjoying anything, so that's good to see.
Have you seen him chug a beer?
Yes.
Dude, yeah, okay. Yeah. So he probably did that a few times.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Woo, nice.
I just saw that. I figured that'd be a great thing to bring into the pod. But
good for you, Tommy.
Yeah, all right. So do you got anything else on Russ?
No, I'd just be curious. I'll admit my first reaction, I'll admit it. I was pissed.
Yeah.
I've thought about more what he said, and I'm not as pissed now. But there was a little bit of me that was like, because there was some of it where he was like, my legacy in Seattle, and who knows what's going to, like, there was a little hint of who knows how long I'll be here.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of me that was like, then get the fuck out of here. You're making $35 million. I've kind of backed off of that, but that was my first kind of gut reaction. But I do feel like, I didn't necessarily like what he did. I don't think the team, he's not going to get traded. So those of you who think, he's trying to get traded or, I will say this for the first time, this is the first time I'll ever say this. I would answer the phone. I probably wouldn't do it.
Give me Trevor Lawrence or shut the fuck up.
If
Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, or shut the fuck up.
I mean, if you want to, give me your next 5 drafts, or if you want to Rams the deal,
Yeah.
I'm not. 1% chance I'd do it, but I will answer. I'm not just gonna laugh. I will listen to what you have to say.
Hey man, if
that's as far as I go.
I will take a piece of your advice from years ago, or not even years ago, like last year, and kind of put it back on you.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was before this year, I think. I was talking about, like, is Russ really that dude? Like, can he win a championship? Would we keep Pete Carroll over him? All this stuff. And you're like, you don't know what it's like to have to look for a quarterback.
Yeah. So
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Unless we're getting a sure thing or Trevor Lawrence, who's the closest thing to a sure thing we've maybe ever seen, I just, like, when's our next window then?
Yeah.
Well, how long are we rebuilding for?
I think anyone under 30...
We have no picks. We can't rebuild right now. We have no picks.
I think anyone under 30... is a little bit entitled because even before Pete, you had Holmgren and they were good.
That's the
then.
thing. I wasn't like a huge Seahawks fan until probably right when Holmgren left, honestly.
Yeah.
But I wasn't paying attention during the Jim Mora days.
Yeah.
I really got into it pretty much right when Pete Carroll got there.
Yeah. You were peak fan age,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so look at other franchises that bust after bust at the quarterback position. They're desperately trying.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I probably wouldn't do it. I wonder if these quarterback salaries are going to come to a head. We'll see what happens with Mahomes. Does his salary, completely ruin the Chiefs? We'll find out.
By the way, did you hear about Mike Evans saying he would restructure his contract to keep the team together?
Yeah.
Why don't more stars do this shit, dude?
Well, here's the thing.
Mike Evans isn't getting sponsorship deals like Russ either.
Yeah.
Russ, aside from the contract, Russ makes way more money outside of football than Mike Evans.
Here's what I would.
He's married to Ciara.
Yeah. So Russ, I'm sure you're watching this right now.
Yeah.
So here, Russ, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk directly to you, Russ, because I know you regularly watch this podcast. Tom Brady has won 7 championships, correct?
Mm-hmm.
This one wasn't, but many of those have been very close games. One in particular I don't want to think about.
Yep.
A few others barely won, right?
Mm-hmm.
Under 7-point margins.
The margin of this game is only 7 points less than all other 6 Super Bowl margins combined.
Right. So, do you think... So, and Tom Brady, I've said before, I saw this number, he left $60 million on the table over the years. He was making $10 million less than the highest paid quarterback at least every one of those years. Okay? $10 million, does it buy you a ton? No. But it might buy you another offensive lineman or two. It might buy you a little bit of a better defense so you don't have to work quite as hard. So when you win these close games, if Brady takes the salary that he probably deserved, did they lose a couple
exactly
of those?
That one downgrade might fuck everything up.
Yeah. And the other thing, Russ, since you're listening, Russ, you like to bet on yourself, right, Russ? You like to bet on yourself. Why don't you bet on your whole life? So if you don't restructure your contract a little bit to help the team, you're just saying I got to get all I can right now because this is my only opportunity. What if I get hurt next year? Okay? Bet on your life. Look at Tom Brady. If he had only won 1 title, how much money would he, over the course of his life, through all of his endorsements and all the other things that he does, he's a fucking legend. He's, people are going to be talking about Tom Brady 50 years from now.
As long as football is around, people will be talking about Tom Brady.
Yeah, he will. He's what every quarterback will be compared to.
As long as people who remember what football was around, people will be talking about Tom Brady.
Yeah. So, Russ, do you want to, hey, yeah, you can make your big money, or you can be a lead. You could, give some back, maybe see if you can win another Super Bowl, make some more commercials, make it back up, and things like that.
TB12, Tom Brady's probably making more money eventually. I don't know yet, but throughout his life, Tom Brady will probably make more money off the TB12 meals and nutrition system than he probably would in his NFL contract.
And watch that all grow when he even has more time to focus on all that shit. Yeah. If he wants to. It's
not like when he leaves the league, people are going to forget about Tom Brady and not buy his shit anymore, not going to want him in commercials. I mean, look at Peyton Manning was only out of Papa John's commercials because he was like, oh, Papa John's racist. I should probably dip out before that news gets out. So
I think he's being short-sighted. Hey, it's not up to me to say give money back. I get that. I'm saying make an investment in your whole lifetime value and understand that winning titles as a quarterback. Look at Broadway fucking Joe from 1969.
Yeah.
You think you'd ever heard of that guy if he hadn't won a title?
No. And what was Broadway Joe's fucking contract? How much money was he making?
Yeah, probably a couple $100,000 if that.
Yeah. Which obviously sounds great, but when you're talking about 35 mil, when you're talking about 1 year that could set up your kids for life, 1 year. I don't know, man. And it's like Yeah, I've never heard that take on it, and I love that. Invest in your life. Invest in your whole life.
Yeah. You do that by winning titles. You win a couple more titles, you're going to be in the conversation as the greatest of your era.
And similar to Tom Brady, who is married to Giselle Bundekin, who makes more money than him, Ciara is fucking stacked.
Yeah.
So
you're going to be okay.
You're going to be fine. And, I don't like, it's different because, like, when you get to the table, you're going to ask for as much as you can. I understand that.
Yeah, of course.
If I was asking for, if I was negotiating a contract, of course I would want $35 million over $25 million or whatever. But it's different than just making more money or less money.
Yeah.
You're right. It's an investment. You're essentially taking that $10 million, investing it in a Super Bowl win to make you more than $10 million in the future.
Yeah, and it's a gamble. You might not ever win another Super Bowl no matter what you do. But bet on yourself, Russ.
Yeah.
You want to be the greatest of all time? You're not going to be the greatest of all time with one ring.
And also,
Period.
man, like, you're the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Obviously, he does so many great things. He does so many great things. But, like, fucking, I don't know, keep that same energy when it comes to your teammates.
Yeah.
Where's that Walter Payton Man of the Year giving up a few $1 million for his teammates?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, let me say, I will say this. Pete and John need to do a better job.
Yes.
They've got to quit fucking up. There've been too many draft busts the last couple years. They've missed on some money on guys they spent money on, like Greg Olsen didn't really work out. There's been other guys that just didn't quite work
he
out.
Went to Buffalo?
Ugh.
He said he wished he went to Buffalo. He said he loved it, but he wished he went to Buffalo.
Well, you didn't really play. So.
Yeah, I know. I wish we didn't have that. I wish we didn't have that pick 6 in week 1 either, fucker.
Yeah, the bench is colder in Buffalo.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever, dude. So I don't know. So again, Russ isn't going anywhere. I still love Russ. I think he's a great player, but he needs to be careful about what he says about his teammates. I just, that's my main takeaway is don't throw your teammates under the bus.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Let's get into the Hall of Fame. All right. So we have Tony Baselli, all 1990s team player, 5-time Pro Bowler. Good for him.
I remember when they drafted him, he might have been the Jags' first pick. Or first number 1 pick anyway. I can't remember. And people questioned it. And basically what they said is, we think this guy is going to be one of the best players, tackles, offensive linemen in the game for a decade. And he was.
Wait, why does it say 95 to 2001? Did he only play that long?
I know he had a little bit of a shorter career. I thought he played longer than that.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe that was it.
Zach Thomas. He's great.
He was a great player.
Great player.
Geesh will love that one.
Yep. Clay Matthews.
The other Clay Matthews.
The other Clay Matthews. Yeah, to be honest, I didn't know there was another Clay Matthews.
There's been a lot of Matthews in the NFL. There's also Bruce Matthews, who's like that guy's brother or something.
Oh shit, okay. Yeah, there's when I scrolled down, I was like, okay, this isn't right. I should find a new website. Because I thought and I was like, Clay Matthews did not play from 78 to 96. Yeah. But no, he did. Reggie
I don't
Wayne,
really remember him. I knew the name.
Almost 20 years in the league. That's crazy. I didn't realize he was in for that long.
Yeah, he's more of a longevity guy, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he was ever considered one of the very top at his position.
But when you look at 1,595 tackles and 69.5 sacks,
played at a high level for a long time.
Yeah. Okay. And then Reggie Wayne, legend. Unfairly cast as the Robin to Marvin Harrison's Batman. No, he became Batman himself.
He did.
So that doesn't matter.
Great player.
All right, Sam Mills.
He passed away a few years ago.
Oh man, it really sucks when players don't quite get in while they're alive. Like they just die like a couple years before they get in. It sucks.
I love Sam Mills. He was a shorter guy, and I think he was a later draft pick.
Awesome. Cool next article to scroll to. Could Russell Wilson be traded?
Jesus.
Wait, where's the rest of the fucking... Okay, well, Megatron also got in. Also, there was a coach, right? Why didn't they list all... Oh, Peyton Manning and Charles Woodson. There we go.
So it's funny, Peyton Manning... The two guys that were the best...
The
3 guys that were the best aren't getting the
whoever
shine here.
the Hall of Fame guy is that goes and surprises the players.
Yeah.
Is fucking massive, dude.
Yeah,
I didn't know
he's a
how
big
huge
boy.
he was, but
Yeah.
I love seeing those videos.
They're fun.
The Charles Woodson one was great.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how like moved by it he was.
Yeah.
Just because it was so obvious he was gonna make it.
It's funny. So you watch him, and he's, you know, very emotional about it, and then you watch Edgar's like, oh, hello, oh, thank you, I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, okay, yeah,
Thank you.
whatever.
Have a good dying.
Yeah. I get more excited about a pizza than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Manning, you know, I mean, he's
All
not.
you gotta say is Manning.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows he's one of the greatest of all time. Woodson, one of the greatest of all time. Calvin Johnson
Should have been.
You know, it's too bad that he played for the fucking Lions and retired early, but he was the dominant player of his era for sure.
Lions potentially clown of the century for wasting Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson and Matt Stafford. But shout out to the owner of the Lions, though. I think they are kind of mending the relationship with Calvin Johnson. Now just pay him his $1 million, you cheap fucks. Okay.
Seriously.
And I think that was it, right?
So then, you know, the one that's interesting around here.
Oh, shit! Among the 10 finalists whose names were not called on Saturday's NFL Honors, here are the 5 who were most deserving. We just read 5 people who didn't make it.
I was wondering what the hell happened.
I was like, wait, I thought I saw that Zach Thomas got snubbed. I was so confused. Oh my god, I'm so stupid.
I was reading that going.
So long.
I was reading that going. How come I didn't?
I know.
Oh yeah, the headline.
Yeah. Okay.
The headline was actually accurate.
Yeah.
So
I was like, I swear I saw people.
I was so
complaining about
confused.
Zach Thomas. I swear I saw people complaining about Zach Thomas.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't remember those guys getting in.
Oh my god. That's
okay. Rewind.
So yeah, those guys. Shout out to them. Maybe they'll get in.
Maybe keep working at it, guys. Yeah, one of the interesting ones. So there's a few guys.
I wish show their names, fuckers.
Here, okay. So yeah, a few that I'm interested in. I don't know who the fuck Bill Nunn is. I'm not gonna lie. I probably should, but I don't. Looks like a member of the Steelers organization. It looks like I see the Steelers logo.
Patch,
I wish. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about him. Tom Flores is an interesting one. Here in Seattle, I talked about the dark times of the 90s. Well, Tom Flores was the general manager for a good chunk of that. And then he was the head coach when they went 2-14.
All right, fuck you, Tom Flores.
Yeah,
Whatever.
but he won 2 Super Bowls with the Raiders. He came in after John Madden. So you could argue Barry Switzer category for him. What you looking for?
Okay, no, because sorry, because it just said I had a heart attack because it said finalist on it, and I was like, please tell me he actually got in. Okay.
Yeah, I knew Tom Flores got in.
Yeah.
So a little bit of I'm not sure that he's totally worthy. I feel like Mike Holmgren's a better candidate than Tom Flores because I feel like Al Davis, was one of the great owners of that time.
By the way, I read up on Al Davis. He's fucking dope.
Yeah.
I don't know how Al Davis nutted out Mark Davis, but
yeah,
happened.
and Al Davis, his last 15 years or so weren't good of owning the Raiders. But prior to that, he was a real visionary.
Bro, he sued the NFL and won.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And then he did it like 4 more times and lost. But
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Flores should get in or not. But he did, so whatever.
All right. I'm happy for this one just because he was so sad last year, Drew Pearson. He was the last member of the all-decade 80s team to not make it in. Is 80s, right?
Yeah, he played in the late 70s and throughout the 80s.
Yeah, so he was he was crying, which I hated that video got posted.
Yeah.
But it probably helped him get in this year.
Probably.
And, honestly, it's like, I'm not here to, gatekeep the Hall of Fame. Like, I don't really give a fuck if Tom Flores is in, even if he doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't upset me.
It's good for him. He'll be happy. His family will be happy. Same thing with Drew Pearson, especially with seeing how heartbroken he was last year.
Yeah.
It's weird how some guy like Charles Woodson is so shocked and moved by it, and then a guy like Drew Pearson doesn't get in, and he's like, "What the fuck?" I don't know.
It's funny. Couple of Drew Pearson things. So he was one of my favorite players when I was a kid. I liked those. Late 70s or early 80s Cowboys when I was a kid. And I really, his would have been a jersey I might have bought when I was a kid if I had such things.
Nice.
Also, there's he was at the draft that was in Philly, and they were a couple of years ago. They were booing him, and he's like, and the first round, or not first round pick, the third round pick for the 5-time champion. Like he was just throwing it all. This is before Philly had won a title.
That's so funny.
So he was just like throwing it all in their face. They were booing him so hard. It was great. So I like Drew Pearson. I'm glad to see him get in.
All right, and then was that it?
Fuck, I don't know.
I don't know, man. All right, we're gonna pretend that was it.
That's it. Look it up. God damn it. Use Google.
I'm done talking about old people.
Yeah.
All right. So, what else do we got? Next week we'll go over our football bets for the year.
Yeah.
We'll do that next week. That'll be exciting. Another piece of news we got that I don't really want to talk about a lot, honestly, but we will. Just for a sec here is Wazoo quarterback Jaden Delora hit with a DUI. Don't know the details of this. I hope he wasn't being that stupid, I guess.
I think the biggest issue there is he was a true freshman, so he's also not 21, so that's a bad look. So my guess is they'll probably reinstate him on the team at some point.
I just hope this doesn't haunt him his whole career.
Yeah,
honestly.
People make mistakes.
That's a big one to make, but
it's a big one.
It's a very big one.
I hope he learns from it.
It's comebackable for sure.
So this ain't like Ryan Leaf days where you could do this all the time and the cop would help you get home. I don't know if that actually happened, but
all right. So I guess in the event that we're out of news, it must be time.
Is it that time?
For the Howard Schultz Clown of the Week!
Yeah, buddy.
Okay. Do you want to go? How about you go first and then I can cheer us up a little?
Okay. Yeah, so speaking of driving drunk.
Also, it's a good segue.
Yeah. This one's not funny, not as funny as a Wazoo quarterback getting drunk, because you figure that just happens all the time. So Andy Reid's son, Britt Reid, it's not known exactly what he consumed, but he ran into two vehicles. This was the Thursday before the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. He was a member, or I guess he is on suspension now, member of the Chiefs staff.
And let me make this clear.
Yeah.
He has had DUI incidents in the past.
Okay.
He's had a history of it.
Yeah.
So.
And aren't they Mormon? I'm pretty sure Andy Reid's Mormon.
Ooh.
I don't know if Britt is or not.
What's it called? Mormons not... There's some term that Mormons that are practicing use. Okay. It's like there's some acronym that they use to diss non-practicing Mormons.
Okay, well, he's not practicing. No. He needs to practice harder or something.
Yeah.
Because Mormons ain't supposed to be drinking. And they sure as hell aren't supposed to be getting into a car after they drink. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I don't mean to make light of this at all, because they're... I don't know how she's doing, but there's a 5-year-old girl clinging to her life. Last I heard, and I hope she still is, and I hope she comes out of it, but it wasn't looking very good. Yeah. Brain injuries. So, not only that's the worst part of it, but also, probably Andy wasn't all totally on his game, for the Super Bowl because his son's a fucking idiot. Yeah. So there's that, there's that little tiny unimportant piece of this too, but yeah, I wish that girl well. Yeah, of course. And then all right, let's just move straight forward into some more funny clown. In fact, you know what? I think we gotta restart the music. Please do. Just to start over. Just to I'm fucking depressed. Yeah. Okay. So normally I wouldn't call a clown a streaker. I would normally not call a clown a streaker because that shit's dope. Especially because we always get one of those Kevin Harlan calls of the streaker. Yeah, he did one this time too. Yeah, which I would have shown, but we're gonna get slammed with copyright probably. Yeah. So look it up, people. It's funny as hell. Look it up. There's a picture of the guy right here. He's going to the 10 to the 5 and he slides at the 2. Yeah. Fucking idiot. You gotta dive, asshole. That's where you start the slide. Also, that's the rule. He gave himself up. There is a claim. I don't think this is true. I don't think it's true, but there is a claim that there is a prop bet somewhere that there would be a streaker at the Super Bowl, and he put like 5,000 in. His bail was 1,000, and he walked away with 374K. Oh my God. That is a suspicion. However, why would I don't know, like, would sportsbooks really do that? Because then you could just do what he did. Yeah, right? True. So I don't know, but that would be funny. Also, another, like, this obviously didn't happen, but I saw Clyde Christensen, who is the quarterback's coach for the Bucs, talking about how before the game, Brady was talking about how there's like a plus 500 odds for him to get half a rushing yard or more.
and he was like, first time they're in 2-3, I'm gonna run up the middle for 6, and we're all gonna bet $1 million on it, and we're all gonna cash in. And I was surprised Clyde Christensen said that, like, because that's like, I mean, even having that conversation sounds dangerous, especially when you're Tom Brady.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
That's just funny shit. But
that's pretty funny.
This guy's a clown for sliding.
How do you slide, dude? You got to get into the end zone.
Dive, bro. And the crazy thing is he's wearing shorts. He just slid on turf with shorts.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, bro? Yeah.
I don't get it. You gotta bull your way in. You gotta finish.
He broke tackles too. It was good early on.
Yeah, he did. Why? I mean, why give yourself up like that?
I don't know, man. Looked like Russ out there. All right, let's move on to our lock of the week. Do you want to go first with this one?
Yeah. So I I bet on a crazy Nets over recently.
Yep.
I think the number was 245, and they ended up getting to almost 300. So I'm going to keep riding the Nets playing absolutely no defense of any kind against the Pacers. Over 234. Yeah, if they're under 2,
give me that.
If there's a number under 240 for them, I want a piece of that.
It's so wild to say that. So wild.
Yeah.
All right. My lock is going to be... This is kind of boring. My lock is going to be the Clippers are favored by 8.5. And they don't have Paul George, but I still think the Clippers are going to fucking smack the Timberwolves by like 20. So actually, yeah, that's my lock of the week. It's not by 8.5. I'm saying 10 or more. That's what I'm just
10
saying.
or more? Wow.
Yeah, I'm moving the spread to make it less
bump
boring.
up that spread.
I'm making
increase
it less
the odds.
boring. Yep.
All right.
Odds are better, and the payoff is better for if I hit now. And also, if I don't hit, it was just I was doing the line. It's 8.5. So
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Now we got player of the week. Do you want to snake draft this one?
Go for it.
All right. So I like this guy. So the Celtics recently, or last night actually, had a bad loss to the Utah Jazz where they let a comeback happen, like big comeback, I'm pretty sure. And Jaylen Brown is quoted as saying, "We fucking should take it personally. The fourth quarter was embarrassing. That's the time we're supposed to be our grittiest, and it seems like we just fell apart. A lot of that is on me." And he also said something about how he didn't like Utah was showing them up. And not like against Utah, but like we let them do that to us.
Yeah.
So give me Jaylen Brown to drop 30 twice this week.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like, this is a little bit out there, but I like Lou Will.
Okay.
The chicken wing guy.
Yeah. With Pepper Lou, baby.
That's right. You know, so you mentioned that that Paul George is going to be out. They've got an easy schedule coming up. Mm-hmm. I think those points have got to come from somewhere, and I think a lot of them are going to come from Lou Will. So I look for him to step up his average by quite a bit and be a difference maker this coming week.
Honestly, I love him against the Timberwolves tonight too. So yeah. I mean, I think they're playing like Timberwolves, Bulls, Cavs, and then the Heat, who have been ass. So actually, I need to see what their record is. I'm pretty sure they've been ass all year, but I just haven't been looking.
What's up with Jimmy Buckets anyway?
He's been hurt, and then he came back, and he's just been kind of quietly doing Jimmy shit. Really, I mean, that's the thing. No one has ever talked about Jimmy Butler. He's always done this though. Yeah. So it's just kind of like if it's not in the postseason and he's not doing it against another star, no one's really gonna talk about it. Yeah. Weirdly enough, but
yeah, I knew he was out for a while.
Yeah, and then I think he hit his first 3 of the year last night.
Woo!
Yeah.
Look out.
Yeah. They did lose though, but. And Duncan Robinson was 0-for-7. Oh. So,
come on, white boy.
That's the only
you got one job.
That's the only job. Literally the only job. All right. Well, do you got anything else?
No, I don't think so.
All right,
that's it.
Well, if you enjoyed, leave a like, comment. If you didn't enjoy, just leave a like too to help us. I mean, come on, fuckers.
Yeah, we're not bad people.
And then I'm not gonna tell you to turn on the notification bell because I feel like it's fucking annoying to get a notification every time we post a podcast. But if you want to do it just to know, then you definitely can do that after you subscribe, which hopefully you've already done, but you probably haven't.
And it's like once a week. It's not like you're getting alerts every 5 minutes.
Exactly.
From some of the shit you have.
It's not like having Woj and Schefter notifications on.
Ding,
I have
ding,
it.
Ding,
I have it,
yeah.
and sometimes I just turn it off for a day because I just can't.
Yeah.
So all right, yeah. Again, thank you. Twitter at Mason Charles Coe at Aaron Coe 29. Got the book on Amazon and Lulu.com. Goosehead Insurance, Aaron Coe. Other than that, I guess peace out.
See ya.